Hey, I told you I was going to come on here and share some tips with you and some things that we can continuously do to create calm, to create some sort of normalcy as we go through this unprecedented time, as we're all trying to create the playbook day by day. And I wrote a few things down, and I just wanted to take this particular video and look at it from a personal standpoint on what are some things that we can do to continue to create normalcy for us from a personal standpoint. And so the first thing I think that we have to focus on is routine. I think routine brings some sort of normal to the day, and what can we do to create that routine? I know that a lot of us have been thrown out of our routine, whether we have kids at home, whether we're working from home, whether the business has been put on pause, whatever it is it might be. But what can we do to create routine? So how can we control what we can control? Well, one of the things that you've heard me say, and it's not my quote, but you've heard me say this, is that if you can win the first hour of the day, you can win the day. And so how can you get ahead of things on a daily basis? How can you do work? How can you potentially do some exercise or do some, maybe some meditation or prayer, whatever it is that you do to really center the needle and get your day started off on a positive note? And so number one is, how can you create that routine by winning the first hour? Or for me, it's the first 3 hours of the day. The first 3 hours of the day, I try to get up before anybody, and I try to create some sort of normalcy that allows me to manage through the rest of the day, which may or may not be normal and may or may not be a routine. The second thing is how can you pause and remember things that you are grateful for? I am not trying to be a cloud nine type of person, but what are those things that you can be grateful for and remember that keep you grounded, that keep you centered? In this interesting time, if you will, there are still things that we can all be grateful for, and maybe leveraging this time to reconnect with family or reconnect with ourselves or find a way to really get honed in on what it is we want to accomplish when this thing is over and stay focused on that. The other thing that we talked about is how can we be a support for others, and how can we also make sure that we have a support system? Because a lot of times it's not just about us supporting others, but there will be times where we might need a support system. And so tapping into your network and thinking about who can potentially you reach out to in times of chaos or in times of stress. Who could potentially help you if you need needs for your kids at home? Who is in your network that you trust, that you feel is not going to put your family in harm's way, but untapping that or tapping that potential of your network and leaving no stone unturned of who you can turn to in this time, I think is just as important as being a support system for others. So again, on a consistent basis, from a personal standpoint, what is it that you can do to create a routine, create some sort of normal in your life and stay grounded? How can you pause and remember the things that you are grateful for, or have that gratitude or be thankful for? How can you be a support system of others, but also how can you build your support network and making sure that in times of need, whether it's needs at home or just needs mentally or needs in stress, that you can reach out to, and these people can be a support system for you. So again, we're figuring this out as we go. I'm getting a lot of good feedback on these videos, and I just wanted to share a few things with you today on things that you can do on a consistent basis, control the controllables, and try to remain grounded.